Hello team, today's challenge is string math, where we're given a very curious looking string. It's almost like a hash, and we are expected to do math on it. The way that this works is we have some numbers in here and characters between those numbers. We don't actually care what the characters are between those numbers, but we do care about the length. If the length is even, then we add. If the length is odd, then we subtract. So 3 plus 10 is 13, minus 8 is 5. And we do that for all these different ones. Now, strangely enough, this is not the first time that we have seen this, okay? Or seen something like this, where we have to do math on a string. Another version of that was back here, April 4th, where we did equation validation. And we had to, again, it was a string. We had to do the math on the right-hand side of the equal sign and make sure that it was the same as whatever the answer was on the left-hand side. And for that, we used some very creative regular expressions, and we broke it out to be its own thing in here with a while loop. Some of this we can borrow again, okay? Specifically the while loop. So if we jump back here and we go into this code, we want our regular expression, okay? So we get the regular expression, and it's going to be global. We don't care if it's uppercase, lowercase, because we are not selecting letters today. We're only selecting numbers. So that saves us an extra character if it matters, okay? The things that we want are any number of numbers, and we want to capture that. And then the other thing that we want to do is we want to capture any number of non-numbers. Normally we could do that with a /D, right? To the plus sign. But there's a problem here. What happens if they want to send us negative numbers? We haven't accounted for that, right? And we really should. We really should allow for that. So my advice is to not use that. Instead, go anything that is not a digit or a minus sign, okay? And of course, we do want to capture that, so that should be in parentheses as well, which means we are almost there. The catch here is that a digit that has information in front of it doesn't exist right here, okay? Right at the start of the string, we only have numbers, and we need that to have some sort of a string in front of it. So what is that? Well, it is the start of the string, okay? So we can go, or this caret sign, which is different from this one, okay? This one means the start of the string, and that will give us an empty string, okay? With that, we set up some other things. So we're going to go let total equal 0. We're going to roll that up. We're going to let found, again, just like that previous one. We need a place to capture our matches, okay? So we do that, and then while found equals re.execute on the string, just like this. And inside of here, we pull off the information that we need from found. So we go const, this array equals found. What are we getting? Well, we're getting the match, the letters, okay? Nope, comma, and then letters, and then the numbers, right? That's our capture groups. So brilliant, match, letters, numbers. We are not using the match today, so you can delete that, but you must leave this comma. If you get rid of that comma, it will not work, okay? The comma, the empty thing with the comma tells us, I don't care about element 0, but I do care about element 1 and element 2, okay? So the next part is the number. So we go num, just like this, and we set it to L.length modulo 2, okay? If this is equals out to 0, it is even, which means that we could return the number in a positive format, which is currently what it is, but it's actually string. So let's go ahead and make it a number, just like this. If it is odd, then we need a negative format, okay? Anything plus a negative number is the same as anything minus that number itself, okay? So what we can do is we can go plus n, not like that, plus n, brilliant, multiplied by -1, which flips the sign, Okay, that's what we're trying to do here. So yeah, if it is odd, right, then we are flipping the sign. We are effectively making it a -1. At which point from here, we can go total plus equals num. Okay, total is 0. If it was 0 plus -1, that would be -1. It would be kind of the same as 0 minus 1, right? -1. So all this works out. You'll notice that we didn't have to do any fancy stuff this time around because we just wanted to loop through this, right? We want to get it done. So that's all we really have to do, which means that this total here, we bring it down and we're done, okay? At least close. There is a catch here, and it's devilish, okay? If you aren't watching for it, you might think that you've won this battle. But right here, this, what is the 2 characters before the 67? Well, that's a plus, right? If we went 0 plus 67, we would get 67. But what if we went a single digit? Well, now it would be a minus. So it would be 0 plus -67, and that would make this 0. Okay, the once we got all the way to the end, it would return 0. So we need to account for this. We don't need to account for the end because that will be skipped. The way that our regular expression works, the end will be skipped, but the beginning will not. And currently, it just works because it works, but it doesn't work because of how we coded it, okay? So we need to account for, no matter how many characters are on here, it always needs to be the plus version of this, unless there's a minus sign in front of it, okay? If there's a minus sign, then it is minus. But for this, we don't want these characters. It's as simple as that. So over here, right to the string, we could do it above as a variable or as a reassignment to string, but I'm just going to do it in line. So replace, and we are going to get everything. Notice that we aren't using a G here. We only want to replace the first instance that is found, okay? What is that instance? Well, it is the beginning of the string and all of this, okay? So we just bring that down. We could extract that to a variable and do some fanciness. Do we need to? I don't know, okay? You can decide, let me know in the comments. But any characters that are not numbers at the start of the string, we need to get rid of those, okay? So we do that right here, replace it with an empty string, and now it still works, but is a stronger solution. And that's because no matter how many characters are out in front at the start of this string, this number is always going to represent as 67. Everything in between will flip the sign of the next number, and that is okay. But that first one needs to be whatever it is supposed to be, the actual number. If it's negative, great. If it's not, great. But it needs to be very deliberate. And we do that with a little bit of extra. So that's it. Like we used a while loop. We used the exec command inside of regular expressions to get it done. Had to do a little bit of cleanup. That could probably be extracted, but hopefully this is sort of making sense with this pattern of looping through every time we find something. If we find something, then we enter the loop and we execute and roll up our total, at which point we return the total. Not every solution, just hopefully one good solution. If you think so, if you don't, if you found another solution that you want to share, hit me up in those comments. Otherwise, today this has been String Math, and I will see you tomorrow.